Good morning and good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Before Coffee. It is Wacky and Weird Wednesday as we look at the wacky and weird stuff people are doing out there. And it's weird enough that people are reporting on it as well. So, this is Before Coffee, the father and daughter comprehensive news of Planet Earth podcast, where we look at our stories 10 to 15 minutes before we start without any caffeine. We're going to cover these stories. Let's check out the headlines. I almost got through that without stuttering. Next time. Today on Before Coffee, Russia is forming a battalion of North Korean soldiers due to severe manpower shortages, intel sources say. What archaeologists are learning from the discovery of 50 extremely rare Viking skulls.
A woman pleads guilty trying to smuggle turtles into Canada. And we report on the poisoning of a UK citizen that
France's Marine Le Pen questioned in court at EU embezzlement trial. And Poland is looking to stop asylum seekers entering the country.
And a baby is born in a microbrewery parking lot and is honored with a special beer. And why stores are throwing out the traditional retail calendar.
In culture news, another sphere is hitting the world in the UAE, in Abu Dhabi.
And it's National Department Store Day, which is fitting for that last story I just quoted. October 16th, 2024, on Before Coffee.
Hell yeah! Let's get started with some intel about the Ukraine war and who's currently in the army. Now, why North Korean soldiers are joining Russia's battalion is not great news for everyone else, because if you start adding foreign soldiers, you start making an idea for another world war, I would say. But this is from Alisa Orlova, Katerina Zakharchenko on the Kiev Post. Russia is grappling with a significant manpower shortage on the front lines due to heavy casualties, both dead and wounded. In response, North Korea, a key ally, is stepping in to provide large-scale support, not only with weapons and military equipment, but also by supplying personnel, according to the Kiev Post sources in Ukraine's military intelligence, or the HUR. Putin is doing everything possible to delay and avoid the decision to conduct a new full-fledged wave of mobilization on the territory of the Russian Federation, the source says. Earlier, LIGA.net, citing sources in Ukraine's military intelligence, reported that North Korean soldiers are being trained to be deployed to the war in Ukraine. According to these sources, the North Koreans will form part of the Special Buryat Battalion, organized within the 11th Separate Airborne Assault Brigade of the Russian Armed Forces. The battalion is expected to include up to 3,000 North Korean troops and is currently being supplied with small arms and ammunition. The battalion may be deployed near Sudza and Kursk, close to the Ukrainian border, though it's unclear exactly where they'll be sent. I guess they can always say, we didn't use a foreign battalion to invade. We used a foreign battalion to defend our borders in Kursk, because it's Russia. The Washington Post had earlier reported that thousands of North Korean infantrymen were undergoing training in Russia, and with the possibility of being sent to Ukraine by the end of 2024. A Ukrainian military officer we'll call sign Alex expressed skepticism about the North Koreans' effectiveness, describing their army as outdated and poorly equipped. Well, that's why they're being trained by Russia, so they can get updated. He speculated their role will likely involve risk operations aimed at reducing the strain on Russian forces. On Monday, Russian leader Vladimir Putin submitted a draft law to the State Duma to ratify a comprehensive strategic partnership agreement between Russia and North Korea. A key provision in Article 4 of the agreement states that if either Russia or North Korea is attacked, here it is, enters a state of war, the other party will provide military and other assistance using all available means, in accordance to Article 51 of the UN Charter and laws of both nations. The treaty will take effect once both countries exchange ratification documents. Putin and North Korea's leader Kim Jong-un signed the agreement on June 19th during Poon's visit to North Korea, which with the next later published by North Korea's Central Telegraph Agency. Western sources report that North Korea has been supplying millions of artillery shells to Russia for its war with Ukraine. In addition, North Korean military engineers and personnel reported adding Russian forces. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky stated on October 14th that North Korea is not only sending weapons but also deploying its citizens to fight alongside Russian troops. Kyiv Post, citing its intelligence sources, earlier reported that more than 20 Russian alliance soldiers were killed as a result of the October 3rd missile strike on Russian-occupied territory of Donetsk, including 6 officers from North Korea who came to confer with their Russian counterparts. Well, so there you go, wacky escalation into what may become an Eastern war as Russia's adding Koreans to its army. In archaeological news, what's weird about this story is finding 50 Viking skulls along with brooches, necklace, beads, knives, and even a shard of glass in a grave. This discovery of 50 exceptionally well-preserved skeletons in a village in central Denmark could hold important clues to the Viking era. Archaeologists had made the landmark discovery that included a burial ground and the skeletons. Experts hope to conduct DNA analysis and possibly reconstruct detailed life histories, as well as looking to social patterns in the Viking Age, such as kinship, migration patterns, and more. This is such an exciting find because we found these skeletons that are so very well preserved, said archaeologist Michael Born-Lundo, who led the 6-month dig. Wow, it took them 6 months to uncover the skeletons. Wow. Normally we would be lucky to find a few teeth in the graves, but we have entire skeletons. The skeletons were preserved thanks to a favorable soil chemistry, particularly chalk, and high water levels. Experts from Museum Odense said the site was discovered last year during a routine survey ahead of a power line renovation work on the outskirts village of Asum, 5 kilometers or 3 miles northeast of Odense, Denmark's 3rd largest city. Wow, thanks power line renovation for discovering this gold mine of skeletons. This opens a whole new toolbox for scientific discovery, said Bore Lundo as he stood on the muddy, windswept excavation site. Hopefully, we can make a DNA analysis of all skeletons and see if they're related to each other and even where they came from. And maybe if somebody in the village living there now is a descendant of one of these Vikings. Wouldn't that be crazy? Yeah, we found my great-great-great-grandfather back over there where the power lines were installed. Him and his entire family of 50 people. No, I don't think he had a family of 50. It seems more like a village, like a graveyard of some sort. During the Viking Age, considered to run from 793 to 1066 AD, Norsemen known as Vikings undertook large-scale raids, colonizing, conquering, and trading throughout Europe, even reaching North America. Yeah, they're the true discoverers of North America, if you want to say someone discovered them, not Columbus. Viking unearthed at Asum likely weren't warriors. Borde Lundo believes the site was probably a standard settlement, perhaps a farming community, located 5 kilometers from a rising ring fortress in what's now central Odense. The 2,000 square meter or 21,500 square foot burial ground holds the remains of men, women, and children. Besides the skeletons, there are a few cremated bodies. In one grave, a woman is buried in a wagon. The higher part of Viking cart was used as a coffin, suggesting she was from the upper part of society, Londo told the Associated Press. Archaeologists also unearthed brooches, necklaces, beads. Sorry?
Might have been a plague of some sort.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I think it's just a communal grave. Archaeologists also unearthed brooches, necklaces, beads, knives, and even a small shard of glass that may have served as an amulet. Borrelundo said the brooch design suggests the dead were buried in 850-900 AD. There are different levels of burials, he explained. Some have nothing with them, others have brooches and pearl necklaces. Archaeologists say many of the artifacts came far beyond Denmark's borders, shedding light on extensive Viking trade routes during the 10th century. "There's a lot of trade and commerce going on," said Borelando. "We also found a brooch that comes from the island of Gotland, on the eastern side of Sweden, but also a whetstone from a honing knife. All sorts of things point to Norway and Sweden." The burial site was discovered last year, and the dig, which started in April, ended Friday. So, congratulations on the successful dig! Boxes of artifacts have shipped to the Museum Odense, preserving labs for cleaning and analysis. Conservator Janie Amsgaard Ebsen hopes the soil may also hold other preserved organic material on the backs of brooches and knife handles. "We really hope to gain the larger picture. Who were the people that were living out there? Who did they interact with?" she said. "It's a little bit like a jigsaw puzzle. All the various puzzle parts will be placed together." So, how wacky, how lucky to find 50. I mean, I wish you guys could see the pictures, but just imagine kind of like a bronze colored
like
skull. It almost looks like it's in wax, how well preserved it is, right? It's not a fossil, it's a pure actual skeleton. Even with some skin, right? It looks like some skin maybe even still be on the feet. And very well preserved. Those are my stories. On to yours.
Righty. So we've always had news about smuggling. There's kinds of things to smuggle in this world. There's restrictions everywhere. Here's one from Canada. Woman pleads guilty to trying to smuggle 29 turtles across a Vermont lake into Canada by kayak. This is from Associated Press. A woman from China pleaded not guilty on Friday, attempting to smuggle 29 eastern box turtles, a protected species, across the Vermont Lake into Canada by kayak. Wan Yi Ing, 41, was arrested in the morning of June 28th at an Airbnb in Canaan as she was about to get into an inflatable kayak with a duffel bag on Lake Wallace, according to Border Patrol agents' affidavit filed in federal court. Agents have been notified by Royal Canadian Mounted Police that two other people, including a man who was believed to be her husband, had started to paddle an inflatable watercraft from the Canadian side of the lake towards the United States, according to court documents. The agents searched her heavy duffel bag and found 29 live eastern box turtles individually wrapped in socks, the affidavit says. Eastern box turtles are known to be sold to the Chinese black market for $1,000 each, the affidavit said. So she was smuggling them to China. The cell phone was seized and searched by law. And searched by law enforcement found communication showing that she tried to smuggle turtles into Canada so they could eventually be sold for profit in Hong Kong, according to the plea agreement. Ing from Hong Kong was living in Canada. She pleaded not guilty on Friday to one count of unlawfully attempting to export and send 29 eastern box turtles out of the United States, contrary to law. BT Digger first reported on the plea deal. She is scheduled to be sentenced in December and faces 10 years in prison or a fine of $250,000. 10 years in prison seems a little steep, but I can imagine her sitting there in an orange jumpsuit going, her cellmate going, "What are you in for?" I killed 50 people. Oh, come on, you didn't kill 50 people. What are you in for? I smuggled turtles.
It's not a weird and wacky Wednesday if we're not talking about somebody smuggling animals for some reason.
All right. In other news, talking about international intrigue, if you want to call it that, a vial, this is a few years ago, remember this woman who was killed by Russian agents, vial that contained a nerve agent that killed a UK woman, contained enough poison to kill thousands. It's a little bit longer story. This is also from Associated Press. Danica Kirka, the lead counsel for a public inquiry into the 2018 death of a British woman poisoned by a Soviet-developed nerve agent, said Monday that there was enough poison in the vial she unwittingly opened to kill thousands of people. Dawn Sturgis and her partner collapsed after they came into contact with the discarded perfume bottle containing the nerve agent Novichok in the southwestern England town of Amesbury. She had sprayed the contents of the bottle on her wrist and died days later. Her partner survived. The evidence will suggest that this bottle, which we shall hear contained enough poison to kill thousands of people must earlier have been left somewhere in a public place, creating the obvious risk that someone would find it and take it home, lead counsel Andrew O'Connor said. The exposure came 4 months after former intelligence officer Sergei Skripal and his daughter were sickened by Novichok in an attack in the nearby city of Salisbury. Britain has blamed Russian intelligence, but Moscow has denied any role. Yeah, because some other country would want to kill a Russian dissident. Not Russia. Yeah, it was probably China. Of course, Russia did it. But Moscow has denied any role. Russian President Vladimir Putin called Skripal a double agent for the United Kingdom during his espionage days, a scumbag of no interest to Kremlin because he was exchanging a spy swap in 2010. That makes no sense. Why would he be of no interest? The Skripals won't testify during the inquiry out of fear of their safety. But in a witness statement to the inquiry, Skripal said that the attack was a shock because it was not honorable to kill people who had been exchanged. I had received presidential pardon. It was a free man with no convictions under Russian law. I never thought Russian regime would try to murder me in Great Britain, Skripal said in a statement read by O'Connor. They could have killed me easily if they wanted to when I was in prison. He said he believed that Putin must have been at least given permission for the attack. I believe Putin makes all important decisions himself, his statement said. Attorney Michael Mansfield, who is speaking for Sturgis family and partner, said the evidence suggests a risk to Skripal was foreseeable. He said the central questions for the inquiry are whether he and UK authorities recognize that he posed a threat to the community. If the attack could and should have been prevented by the UK authorities, I don't know how they could, but whatever. Dawn's family and her partner are entitled to know. So are the wider public. Was there a failure to prevent chemical weapons attack in UK soil, he told the inquiry? Were countless members of the public put on risk with the potential for hundreds or even thousands of deaths? Heather Hallett, the coroner who held the 2018 inquest on the Sturgis death, said that the public inquiry was needed to conduct a complete look at how the woman died. Unlike inquests, which are routinely held in cases where the cause of death is unknown, if someone dies violently, public inquiry is allowed to consider sensitive intelligence material. So they're trying to, get to the bottom of it, try to blame the UK government somehow, losing track of a vial of, poison, basically, nerve agent. Like, oh yeah, our nerve agent people were on the ball that day. I don't know. But there's your story. Back to you.
That's wild. Wow. We're living the Cold War again? Cold War returns?
You find, right, the Cold War, James Bond stuff. You find something on the ground and you don't know what it is, don't try to inhale it, spray it on yourself. Just say, hey, that's not mine. Maybe just throw it in the trash. Although, if you throw it in the trash, it gets incinerated and kills more people or whatever. I don't know. I don't know the solution. The solution is stop poisoning people. How's that?
Freaking weird, man. All right.
Yeah.
Well, in more weird and wacky news, we've got Marine Le Pen is being questioned by the EU for embezzlement. This is on Al Jazeera. French far-right leader Marine Le Pen has strongly denied committing any wrongdoings at a Paris court, as she and her National Rally RN party stand trial over suspected embezzlement of European Parliament funds. The 9-week trial is at a critical juncture for Le Pen, expected to be a strong contender in France's next presidential election in 2027. I hope not after this. A guilty verdict could significantly affect her political career and aspirations. I think it could just stop it. I think if you embezzle funds from a government body, you are no longer allowed to become part of a government body. Le Pen, 56, took stand on Monday, the 14th of October, in the first of 3 expected days of testimony in the trial, which comes almost a decade after initial investigation began. So a decade ago, she may or may not have embezzled the EU Parliament. Le Pen, the RN itself, and 24 others, including party officials, employees, and former lawmakers, have all been accused of using European Parliament money to pay staff in France. The party leader and her co-defendants have denied the charges, saying the money was used legitimately. In court, Le Pen argued that she believed a European Parliament member's role was as much to push their party's politics in France as it was to work on legislation in Brussels. Huh? No. Your job is to be on the parliament, not to think about your next election. I'm telling you very clearly, I absolutely don't feel I have committed the slightest irregularity, the slightest illegal move, she said. She detailed her vision of the role that the MEPs play, including various examples such as meeting with voters and attending major events. The aide works for his MEP and therefore can work for his MEP for the benefit of the party, he explained. I believe it's a mistake from the European Parliament not to perceive it this way, she added. The judge presiding over the case said she was unsatisfied with Le Pen's answers. The European Parliament has estimated the damage from the alleged crimes to be 3.5 million euros or $3.8 million. The alleged fake job system that triggered the trial was first flagged in 2015 and covers parliamentary assistant contracts between 2004 and 2016. Yeah, that's the donut deliverer. Yeah, give her $1 million. She delivers donuts for the party. Yeah, so we need to pay her. Prosecutors say the assistants work solely for the party outside Parliament. Many could not describe their day-to-day work, and some never met their supposed MEP boss that they work for. A bodyguard, a secretary, Le Pen's chief of staff, and a graphic designer were all allegedly hired under false pretenses. Okay, so they didn't hire a donut deliverer, but a graphic designer? Yeah, that doesn't have anything to do with but personal things. If Le Pen and her co-defendants are found guilty, they could face up to 10 years in prison and fines up to 1 million euros or $1.1 million each. A guilty verdict could also result in penalties including a loss of civil rights or an ineligibility to run for office. Oh, please let it be that. I don't want any more far-right people in Europe. Which would affect Le Pen's goal of becoming France's president in the 2027 election. Good fucking luck, really. The trial is scheduled to last until November 27th. Hey, I'm biased. I'm gonna admit it. Okay, so there's your news on embezzling people since 2004, or embezzling the EU since 2004, perhaps. It's not looking good for her, according to this article. And let's go to, speaking of far-right sentiments, Polish Prime Minister Tusk isn't a far-right icon, but he's definitely catering to them. The Polish government this was from Saturday, and this is on NOS, which is a Dutch source. The Polish government wants to temporarily abolish the right to asylum. So that's the right that you go to a country and you say, oh God, the country I live in sucks and I'm gonna die if I stay there. Please let me live here. And Poland is like, sorry, you don't have that right anymore. We've abolished it. Polish Prime Minister Tusk announced this on Saturday, which was, let me remember the date here, the 12th of October, at a party meeting. He also said he would ask the European Union to respect the measure. Well, they're not going to respect it because it goes against the Fundamental Human Rights Act. According to Tusk, Belarusian President Lukashenko, Russian President Putin, and numerous human traffickers are abusing the right to asylum by sending migrants to the Polish border. According to Politico, more than 26,000 migrants have tried to cross the Polish border from Belarus this year. I mean, yeah, maybe.
Doesn't seem like a lot.
That's crazy to see, like, every single one of those people is part of the conspiracy. I doubt it. I want to say at least 100 of them or something, or maybe 1,000 are just normal people who are like, I don't want to be part of Belarus and Russia. Get me out of here. I know plenty of YouTubers who've escaped from Russia, right, in 2020. They're like, we're out of here. I'm leaving. As soon as they started that war in Ukraine, a lot of people left Russia.
There's always a possibility that this guy's lying.
Yeah. Yeah, 26,000. Where do you get that number from? Show me the data. Asylum law is established at European level, and member states cannot simply deviate from it. The new Asylum and Migration Pact, which the EU concluded this year, states that countries can declare a crisis situation if asylum seekers are used for political purposes. Permission is required for this, so they're going to have to do an entire investigation to even prove that it's for political purposes. Belarus began sending planes to Syria and Lebanon in 2021 to pick up migrants, including those forced to cross the border into the European Union. Belarus did so after Western countries imposed new sanctions of President Lukashenko's regime. So he had a little hissy fit and said, you know what, Take all these people from Syria, assholes. I am legitimate. What if I like to lick Putin's boots? Poland also has since accused Russia and Belarus of deliberately sending migrants across the border to destabilize the situation in the country and the European Union. Both countries deny this, although, why would they say, yeah, you caught us red-handed? Although Lukashenko has threatened in the past to deliberately let migrants through. Yeah, well, looking like you did do that. In recent years, Poland has built a fence along its border with Belarus to keep out migrants. Lithuania did the same earlier. The right to asylum was established at European level. For years, negotiations were held in Brussels on the new European Migration Pact, which was signed this year. Last month, the Council of Europe Commissioner for Human Rights, Michael O'Flaherty, visited the border. He praised Poland for hosting many Ukrainian refugees and acknowledged that Poland faced significant challenges due to the actions of Belarusian authorities. However, he warned that Poland's treatment of asylum seekers from Belarus, sending back all migrants without assessing their applications, is not in line with international human rights standards and the European Convention of Human Rights. Incidentally, the Council of Europe is not an EU body, but it does cooperate the EU in areas of human rights. The European Commission has not yet responded to Tusk's announcement. Poland is not the only EU country that has recently requested an exception to European asylum rules. The Netherlands and Hungary have also requested exceptions if a new European Treaty on Migration is adopted. Correspondent Christian Pawa says, in the Polish parliamentary elections a year ago, Donald Tusk called for a more humane border policy with Belarus, but since coming to power, he has continued and in some ways even tightened the border policy of his predecessors. The so-called pushbacks forcing migrants back across the border in violation of international law continue. Tusk's government has also re-established a military zone on the border with Belarus, which means that almost no one is allowed in the area. Tusk's position hardened after a knife attack at the border fence in which a Polish soldier was killed. According to the government, a migrant was responsible. Since then, Tusk has left no doubt that he sees migrants only as a hybrid weapon of Russia and Belarus to destabilize Poland and the EU. Brussels more or less turned a blind eye to the pushbacks, but now that Tusk's government wants to temporarily abolish the right to asylum, it remains to be seen whether Poland will get away with it. So there's your correspondence from Eastern Europe and Central Europe, Christian Pawa. And I also agree, I think as soon as you start pushing the law that the EU has passed, you're going to find it a little harder to convince the EU to ignore you. But that's my stories. On to yours.
Yeah, if Poland thinks that immigration is bad, they should look at the fact. Look up. We did this a while ago. The country's losing population the quickest, right? And I found this on a website, Newsweek.com. They got this from the CIA. According to CIA data, the countries and territories with the fastest shrinking population, now this is as proportion to your actual population.
Yeah, so like if you have 1 million people and you're losing 1,000, that's pretty bad.
Right. So here's your list. Cook Island, which is a bunch of islands, is number 1. And American Samoa is 3, another island. Saint Pierre and Maquilan, which is, again, an island. Puerto Rico, an island. Those are 4. And Puerto Rico's not a nation, so I don't know why that's not on there. Okay, the first nation on here is Latvia. Second is Lithuania. And the third is Poland. So Poland is third among actual big nations. Losing population, but they want to curb immigration. They want to talk about being stupid for your economy.
Well, I think they're just being paranoid, right? Because they think they're actually getting attacked, right?
Right. They're getting Russian interlopers or Belarus interlopers, but I'm just saying all these countries that think that immigration is bad for it, they're wrong. It's just always wrong, by the way. Immigrants are, in America at least, immigrants are the best Americans. Forget about it. Born Americans, especially generational, been here for generations.
Yeah.
They're satisfied. They're happy. Why would they try to be better Americans? They just want to keep other Americans out because they're going to get my stuff. Anyway, immigration is always good. People that hate immigrants are just bigots or being controlled by bigots. But anyway, on to the strange news. We're going to a short story first. This is consumer news, both of these, I suppose. This is from UPI. Ben Hooper, baby born in microbrewery parking lot, honored with special beer. That's right, a baby born in a parking lot at his parents' favorite microbrewery in Michigan was named after the business, which in turn created a special brew to honor the newborn. Aaron and Kyle Baker were on their way from Vicksburg to Bronson Methodist Hospital in Kalamazoo on the baby's due date when they realized they would not make it in time. They called for an ambulance and pulled over to the parking lot of One Well Brewing, which happens to be their favorite microbrewery, and the baby, Forrest Wells Barker, was born a mere moments later. We've been joking that Forrest just wanted to swing by for a quick beer on the way to the hospital, just like his dad would, Kyle Baker told M Live. When people first heard, everybody thought they were just sitting in here having a beer when I went into labor. One Well Brewing celebrating baby Forrest Wells' arrival by coming up with a blood orange blonde ale, which his parents were invited to come help mix at the brewery. Beer aptly named Special Delivery is due to be tapped later this month.
Wow, Special Delivery.
Owner Chris hell yeah. One Well, which is the name of the brewery. One Well owner Chris O'Neill joked that while it would be another 21 years before baby Forrest Wells could enjoy a pint, his arrival might earn him a free beer for life. One Well promise, have a baby in the parking lot, the baby gets free beer for life, he said. All right, so when that kid gets to be 21, we're going to turn him into an alcoholic. All right.
Already going to have to have a
Why
second
stores... In a commercial retail news, oh, by the way, I did send you a video. I hope you got it. And why, this is from AP News, Annie D'Incenzio. Why stores are throwing out traditional retail calendar. Of course, we know the stores always, they can't wait to put the decorations up and get you to buy for this holiday. Once the holiday's over, they go on sale. It makes little or no sense to me why you would buy things when you know they're going on sale in a week. But anyway, because it's a holiday, it's a holiday. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a holiday next year too. Buy it for next year. Anyway, after sipping pumpkin, this is a long story. I better get on with it, huh? After sipping pumpkin spice lattes in August and putting up Halloween decorations in late September, Samantha Kowalczyk, let's call it. Yeah, it's got a Polish name. Kowalczyk. Already looks forward to drinking eggnog-flavored coffee and filling her Wilmington, Delaware home with cinnamon and sugar cookie-scented candles and other holidays aromas. The 30-year-old thinks seasonal flavors and scents should be available year-round, and apparently others feel the same way. In response to growing customer demand, stores of all stripes, from Bath & Body Works, an online holiday decor retailer Balsam Hill, to Whole Foods Market, and donut maker Krispy Kreme, are bringing out their festive collection weeks before the November 1 start of the holiday shopping season. It starts November 1 now. I always thought it started after Thanksgiving. Oh well, I guess Thanksgiving counts as a holiday. All right, never mind. Inflation-weary shoppers may wait until the first cold snap to buy a sweater or gloves when it comes to seeking out deals tied to events like the start of a new school year or limited-time seasonal promotions. A fair number of consumers are finding it's never too soon. I want the season earlier and the things that go with the season earlier, Kowalczyk said. I want to enjoy it for as long as I can. If I enjoy it, why should I have to wait? Oh, see, there's a point there. Clothing, food, and home goods stores, only too happy to push the season earlier to get shoppers to spend for a longer period of time, are scrambling the traditional retail calendar in the process. And this year, with Thanksgiving falling on November 28th, leaving 5 fewer days before Christmas compared to last year, that pressure to get shoppers to buy is even more intense, analysts say. Members of Bath & Body Works loyalty program can shop a holiday preview collection of candles and scents like Winter Candy Apple and Bright Christmas Morning starting September 24th. For everyone else, it became available on September 30th. Last year, customers in the rewards program didn't get access to those products until October 3rd, and the holiday-themed merchandise didn't launch in stores until October 9th. Whole Foods brought out autumn items like pumpkin pie spice pancake and waffle mix, apple pear ginger Italian soda, and pumpkin spice ground coffee in the first 2 weeks of September. A year ago, it was the last 2 weeks of the month. Starbucks introduced its first fall menu August 22nd, including an iced apple crisp non-dairy cream chai 2 days earlier than last year. Halloween-themed donuts from Krispy Kreme used to be offered a few days before the event, but now it's kicking them off the entire month. Same goes for holidays like St. Patrick's Day. Krispy Kreme now offers holiday-themed sweets the week before the holiday instead of just on that day, according to Dave Skina, Krispy Kreme's global chief brand officer. Walmart, the nation's largest retailer, plans to advertise savings on Thanksgiving meal products starting October 14th, which was 2 days ago, about 2 weeks earlier than last year. Stu Leonard's, a grocery chain that operates stores in Connecticut, New York, and New Jersey, expects to stock chocolate turkeys during all of November instead of only during Thanksgiving week. It also plans to start promoting eggnog, which it previously offered in December and early November. I think people get the itch when they see the next thing. Jake Cavallo, the supermarket company's vice president and grandson of the chain's late founder, Stu Leonard Sr., they get excited even before the weather changes. Retailers are expanding the seasonal flavors and scents to more areas of the store, especially the now ubiquitous pumpkin spice. The trash bag brand Hefty, owned by Reynolds Consumer Products, introduced cinnamon pumpkin spice scented bags. Oh yeah, you want your garbage to smell like cinnamon? That probably ain't so bad, actually. As a marketing gimmick, but it's mixed with garbage. It's still going to smell terrible. But it's sold out in seconds, and each year it's been offered earlier to keep up with consumers' demand, said Brian Lutz, marketing director of Hefty Ways. This year, the scented bags were promoted by customers in mid-August. Well, right on. Get on to that pumpkin spice scented trash. For the first time this year, Balsam Hill transformed what traditionally is fall catalog, sent in September, into a holiday book. Sales of holiday decor spiked mid-September, and a month earlier than a year ago, according to CEO Mac Harmon. He also noticed Halloween decor sold briskly in September, a month earlier than a year ago. Holiday merchandise traditionally has started showing up in stores in mid-October, and holiday offerings ramp up starting in mid-November. But the big push this year is expected to be in early November, according to Stefan Yaloff, president of the CEO of Tanger, a leading operator of upscale outdoor shopping centers across 20 U.S. states and Canada. Retailers said shoppers' interest in jump-starting seasons sooner began before the coronavirus pandemic, but the health crisis hastened the trend when disrupted supply chains led to smaller supplies, encouraging shoppers to grab seasonal items while they could. But some retail executives said they're noticing this time the shift is driven by shoppers looking to find joy during an uncertain time. Decorating brings joy and reduces stress. They're just decorating early because it's freaking stressful right now. Harmon's citing war in the Mideast, hurricanes, and political division, among the other crises. There's just so much going on. There's always something going on. I don't think I poke them. There's always something going on. For retailers moving to the next holiday by overlapping the holidays is an opportunity to pick up extra sales, said Marshall Cohen, chief industry advisor of market research firm Circana. But there are plenty of shoppers like Jamie Burkhaw, 33, from Owega, New York, who want to stick to buying seasonal items timed to the calendar. I feel like there is a time and a season for everything, she said. If you purchase these things too early, they're not as special. Well, except for Jamie Burkhaw, seems like everybody else is for this. Whatever. Go out there and buy stuff whenever you feel like it. And of course, merchants are going to try to get every last dollar they can out of you. Nothing new about that. They'll start a trend. They'll fall in line with the trend. They don't care as long as they make money. Back to you. Back to you.
Wow.
You're still there, right?
How wacky and weird that we didn't expect that. All right. Oh. I don't know why that happened. Okay.
I know. I must have cut off in the middle of it or something.
Oh, okay. Well, your camera got turned off as well. Right.
No, I
in our
turned
culture
off
news,
because I wasn't hearing you.
we've got the world's second sphere on its way and heading to Abu Dhabi. As if the world didn't need another huge sphere playing concerts in broadcasting light pollution into your window. Abu Dhabi is getting the next one. This is on Euronews Culture by David Morquant and AP. The world's second sphere is headed to Abu Dhabi after opening of the first giant dome entertainment complex in Las Vegas in September 2023, with residency by rock band U2. Abu Dhabi's Department of Culture and Tourism and Sphere Entertainment Company announced the plan late Tuesday, which was yesterday, the 15th of October, to bring a sphere to the Middle East because they have the money to pay for it. Let's be honest, they tried to build one in London and London was like, nah, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. Under the deal, Abu Dhabi will pay a franchise fee to the Sphere Entertainment to build the second largest location using its designs. Abu Dhabi's government will pay to build the structure, as well as annual fees to the Sphere Entertainment for creative and artistic content. That sounds like a shit deal. I don't know why anyone would agree to do that, but I guess they are, since they announced it, they must be agreeing. Let's see if they actually finish building the thing. The announcement offered no financing information, nor did it say where the Sphere would be built in the Emirati capital. Dates for the venue construction opening have yet to be announced. So it could still get cancelled before they actually start building the thing. The Sphere is a multi-billion-dollar brainchild of James Dolan, the executive chair of Madison Square Garden and the owner of New York Knicks and Rangers. He doesn't have enough money, so now he's making another way to get money. The massive $2.3 billion Las Vegas Sphere opened in 2023 as the gambling capital's most expensive entertainment venue. A high-resolution LED screen wraps halfway around the 17,500-seat audience. It has hosted concerts, film screenings, and sporting events inside the world's largest spherical structure, standing at 111 meters and 157 meters wide. However, efforts to build a second sphere abroad have been choppy. London Mayor Sadiq Khan rejected a plan to build one in the city's east over multiple concerns last year, including light pollution. That's right. Indeed, the proposed venue has raised concern from some of those living in the surrounding area. The London Assembly Environment Committee warned of unacceptable light levels that would be created by the venue, as the sphere is said to have an estimated 1 million LED light bulbs on its exterior. So forget going to sleep, let's just stay up all night. Abu Dhabi has been trying to differentiate itself as a travel destination from neighboring Dubai in the UAE, an energy-rich federation of 7 Sheikdoms on the Arabian Peninsula. Stock in Sphere closed more than 6% higher Tuesday on the New York Stock Exchange for $48.91 a share. So, I mean, I guess good luck for you guys who are investing in Sphere technology. That's a major boost after Benchmark last month downgraded Sphere Entertainment to sell over concerns over the Sphere's scalability, high protection costs, and potential over an underwhelming profitability outlook. Yeah, I think we already did a news story last year or maybe earlier in the year that the Sphere isn't exactly making up all the money it costs to build yet, and it might take 10 years to make back that cost. Last year, they reported a huge loss. The MSG Sphere reported losing $98.4 million, which is approximately 92.2 million euros for the financial quarter ending on 30th of September 2023, so it was last year, a day after the venue first opened in Las Vegas Strip. The loss was announced around a week after Gautam Ranj resigned as Sphere Entertainment's chief financial officer, according to a Securities and Exchange Commission filing. Well, so I guess they're hoping that this new strategy where they make you pay for the building of it and also paying a fee to them to even own the Sphere will somehow make all their money back. I don't know why anyone would agree to build this Sphere. So you have to pay us not only for building the Sphere, but also for creative and artistic content, as it's quoted here in the article. So, I don't know. Yeah, just rest in peace, the bottom line indeed. Also, hello Ivanka, welcome to Before Coffee, and we're covering the wacky and weird news here. So, is this gonna work? No, I don't think so. I think this is gonna be another, like, they're gonna get through the signing, and they're probably gonna have to pay a fee for canceling the contract, and I just don't see this working. I don't see the Sphere working in 10 years from now. You guys can quote me on this in 10 years. If that Sphere is still up and being successfully ran, and they haven't completely disassembled it for parts and put all the LEDs in the casinos. I've got an authentic piece of the Sphere.
The Sphere concerts look awesome. The ones in Vegas.
They look great, but like, are they going to make money back on it to a? I don't know. I don't think so.
Hundreds of dollars a ticket, and they sell out. So I imagine they're, and probably they got a casino attached to it. It is Vegas, so that'll help.
I just feel like the entertainment industry is not in the best time right now. So,
Well, if you got a casino, you're going to make money because people just walk in and get their money. They say, well, I plan on losing that money anyway.
Maybe they're giving people deals, right?
Yeah.
You go to the casino and they say, hey, if you spend this much at the casino, you get a ticket to the Sphere, and they're trying to they have like free tickets if you spend this much. I don't know.
I think the acts they get at the Sphere are so much in demand they don't have to do anything special for the tickets.
I mean, is U2 really that great to watch live?
Yeah, I've been to U2. They're fucking awesome.
Oh, are they? Okay.
I don't get the anti-U2 sentiment because it's horseshit.
I'm not anti them. I'm not a fan or a hater. I just don't.
It's just that some people hated them because of the iPhone debacle. It's like, oh, U2 sucks. I don't want them on my phone. I'm like, yeah, so don't listen to it. Who's making you listen to it? Anyway.
Change the ringtone. Yeah.
Anyway, I think the Sphere is fine. I mean, it's indulgence is what it is. This is what people in Abu Dhabi, you say? Well, they got lots of money, so
yeah, they do
print money there. I mean, they don't even have to have their own currency. Their currency is we're rich. That's their currency, right? We'll take whatever because we're rich and you can't buy us. All right, so on to this day in history, I guess.
Yep.
We bring this jetliner into the hangar. we bring it in for a landing. In 1758, American lexicographer Noah Webster, who was instrumental in giving American English a dignity and vitality of his own, was born. That's why it's today's American Dictionary Day. It's the birthday of the guy who wrote the American Dictionary, Noah Webster. He's the guy who decided to take those E's off the end of all those English words, right? What the hell's that E for? Like old E, old with an E in it. He got rid of that crap. Thank you, Noah Webster, for getting rid of unnecessary E's in our language. In 1813, Napoleon led his troops against Allied forces in Austrian, Prussia, and Russian and Swedish troops during the Battle of Leipzig. Not lip sync, Leipzig. 1846. Leipzig.
Famous place.
1846. Leipzig. Hey, man. Anyway, Napoleon was a badass, took on 4 armies. 1846, William Thomas Green Morton. That's a long name. William Thomas Green Morton first demonstrated the use of ether as a general anesthetic before gathering of physicians at Massachusetts General Hospital in Boston. All right. Of course, the problem with ether is you had surgery and you come back from under the ether and you've got stitches all over and you start puking your guts out because that's what ether does to you. So that was always not a good thing, not a good side effect. 1847, English novelist Charlotte Bronte published Jane Eyre, which became a classic noted for giving new truthfulness to the Victorian novel. Oh yeah, truthfulness, like, hey, people have sex. 1859, John Brown, a militant abolitionist, made his legendary raid on the U.S. arsenal at Harper's Ferry, out here in the border of Virginia and what is now West Virginia. Back then, it was still part of Virginia. 1869, the Cardiff Giant was discovered in New York State. Speaking of Weird Wednesday, the Cardiff Giant, in 1869, New York State, originally thought to be a petrified prehistoric man, it was later revealed to be a hoax. So,
really?
Cardiff Giant was a
Wow.
hoax. 1880. Yeah. American dramatist Eugene O'Neill was born on this day in 1888. He won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1936. Margaret Sanger, an activist for women's reproductive rights, opened the first birth control clinic in the United States in Brooklyn, New York, this day in 1916, so 108 years ago. And, of course, the Supreme Court took all them rights away from everybody because, everybody's got to be under our Christian nationalist boot. 1946, 10 of the 12 defendants sentenced to death at a Nuremberg trial, including Joachim von Ribbentrop and Ernst Krottenberger, were executed. So, 10 Nazis were greased today in 1946 for being subhuman losers who just...
And that solved everything.
Killed you. Yeah, exactly. Stupid scumbags who are like, I was just following orders. 1964, China, eager to join the nuclear race, successfully detonated its first atomic bomb. Screw you, China. You don't need atomic bombs. 1968, in our featured event for our mic drop anyway, during the awards ceremony for the 200-meter race in Mexico City Olympics, American sprinters Tommy Smith and John Carlos gave a Black Power salute, for which they were later ordered to leave the games. Oh, you can't even be here. Well, what do we care? We got our medals. Anyway, these are relay sprinters, and they won the gold and I believe the bronze. I might be gold and silver. Anyway, 1978, Karol Joseph I can't pronounce his name. Wojtyła of Poland was elected a pope. He assumed the name John Paul and was the first non-Italian pontiff in 455 years. So there you go. Italy accepting immigrants from Poland. It's funny, huh? Funny. I think it's funny. Actually, it's the Vatican City accepting immigrants from Poland. 2003, Hungarian boxer Laszlo Papp, who was the first three-time Olympic boxing champion, winning gold medals in 1948, 52, and 56, died at the age of 77. 3 straight gold medals. Of course, he was the first one that's been done since. I think Teofilo Stevenson did that too, so Cuban boxer. Our featured event, 1793, Marie Antoinette. It's a good day for executions. We had the Nazis executed, and also on this day, Marie Antoinette was guillotined. Yes, she totally lost her head. After the French Revolution began, Marie Antoinette, queen consort of Louis XVI, was targeted by agitators who, enraged by her extravagance and attempt to save the monarchy, ultimately guillotined her on this day in 1793. She famously said, "Let him eat cake," and they let her have
I believe she famously didn't actually say that. That was...
Well, that's the only reason we know who she is, for that matter. Oh yeah, we don't know anything about Louis XVI. We know Marie Antoinette said, "Let me eat cake." Feature biography, Günter Grass, German writer, born October 16th, 1927 in Gdansk, Poland. So he's a dissident, probably had to leave during communism. And he died April 13th, 2015 in Lübeck, Germany at the age of 87. Other famous birthday, Michael Collins, Irish statesman, very famous, behind the independence of Ireland from UK. 1908, Enver Hoxha, Prime Minister of Albania, was born. 1925, Angela Lansbury, Murder, She Wrote. Yes, Jessica Fletcher of Cabot Cove, Maine.
Hell yeah.
Born this day in 1925, her 99th birthday today. 1935, Andrei Chikatilo, a Soviet serial killer. Oh yeah, we better remember his birthday. Why does Britannica's fascination with serial killers? I swear, they must employ a lot of serial killers there. And 1977 is the birthday of John Mayer, American songwriter, singer-songwriter, and guitarist. John Mayer kills fascists. I'm the only one that says that because John Mayer is on my dumpster. I bought my dumpster guitar, my bumper sticker on my
Oh, I see.
It says John Mayer. John Mayer kills fascists. The sticker isn't mine. The sticker isn't mine. It was on the guitar when I found it in a dumpster. But the kills fascists is, of course, from Woody Guthrie, who wrote on his guitar, "This machine kills fascists." So,
what a hero.
To John Mayer. Happy birthday to John Mayer, you fascist killer, you. And what other day is it today? What other day is it today? Support your local Chamber of Commerce Day. It's a lot of things today. Third Wednesday of October is Support Your Local Chamber of Commerce Day. It's also National Fossil Day. That might have to do with the finding of that giant hoax that was in New York State.
Okay.
The big giant that was not a giant. Yeah, that was in, what year was it? 1800 sometime. Oh, let's look it up again. Why the hell not? The Cardiff Giant was 1869. So maybe that has something to do with that. The Cardiff Giant. It's National Bosses Day. We did that, right? How is this? National Local Chamber of Commerce, National Bosses Day. So celebrate your boss.
Ooh!
I'm sure your boss will appreciate it.
Bosses suck!
And it's National Dictionary Day. So look in your dictionary, find up new adjectives to describe your boss. It's Hagfish Day. If you don't know what a hagfish is,
sounds delicious.
You're lucky. It looks horrible. And of course, there's
looks horrible, tastes great, probably. That's how it goes.
It looks like its skull is split open and it's got barbs sticking out of its face. Hagfish are considered the ugliest of species. The idea behind this observance is to encourage everyone to look beyond the exterior of the hagfish and appreciate how highly evolved they are. Not unlike a book cover, the day points out the benefits of looking deeper into the subject. Yeah, don't just be making fun of your hagfish. First of all, you called it a hagfish. If you wanted other people to like it, you would have called it something else, right? Anyway, call it something else. Call it a beautiful fish. It's National Liqueur Day, so get your White Russian out and have your, everybody's favorite liqueur, which is, what's it called? The coffee flavored stuff. Kahlua. Yeah, have some Kahlua and milk and vodka and get blasted. National Liqueur Day. Department Store Day. Don't get blasted, man. Drinking's a bad habit. Department Store Day it is today, which kind of covers one of our stories, at least about all these people putting things on sale or putting on special for the holiday season. It's also Bra Day USA. Bra Day, it sounds like a cheer. Like the cheerleaders could cheer it. Bra Day USA. Bra Day USA. And it's National Sports Day. So wear that sports bra. And those are all your days for today. Like 8 of them, I guess. For October 16th, 2020. And no food. Isn't that weird? No food today.
Well, hagfish is technically food. You can eat a hagfish. I've looked it up. Hagfish are high in protein and low in fat, so they are a healthy choice for a seafood meal.
All right.
Some use their skin and bladders to make leather, like wallets and shoes. They're considered not a desirable food, but people in Korea do eat them as a delicacy. They're eel-like. So just imagine eating eel. It's the same thing. A hagfish is basically eel. And some people don't like eating eel.
Of course.
So, yeah.
Well, I'll point out that humans eat everything that comes out of the ocean. We don't care what it is.
Yeah.
Somebody is eating it. So, yeah. So there's your stories for today, October 16th, 2024. And before hagfish.
Supposedly it tastes like chicken. So it's not so bad. It just tastes like chicken. But, everyone says that,
or you
right?
could just have chicken. Or you just have chicken.
Well, maybe this is just, maybe you don't have any chickens near you, but you did find a hagfish in your fish trap. So, well, I guess we're going to have to eat that today. Of course, it's some
special serial killer's birthday today. Don't forget to celebrate that.
All right. So it's also, speaking of eating hagfish, it is World Food Day. The UN International World Food Day is recognized on October 16th.
Yep.
Since 1979, promoting global awareness of actions for those who suffer from hunger. So, if you're out there and you know somebody who's starving, get them some McDonald's, give them a $5 footlong or something and eradicate hunger into the next generation. That's right. Let people steal bread from your bakery if they're hungry, because it didn't cost you that much to make that bread, but it's going to cost them more to not eat today. So, let's celebrate having adequate food and sharing our food with others today on what was Wacky and Weird Wednesday on Before Coffee. I hope you guys enjoyed learning about all the wacky and weird stuff that's been going on this week. And we will see you tomorrow for Thursday, which is Thursday's 13, where Rod will drop a list and list off 13 things that you should know about. Well, it might not be that important, but it's other than that, it's just themeless Thursday, and we don't have any theme for Thursdays. That's our theme, our list. It's our list day. We will, if you're not already, subscribe to the YouTube channel at at Ali and Raj on YouTube. You can, I almost did my YouTube channel. And don't forget to turn on the notifications so you get notified when we go live on Thursday. And like this video and tell us below if you would eat a hagfish in the comments, because I would. I probably would. I love eels. I was starving. Yeah, I don't think it would. If I didn't know it was hagfish, I'd probably eat it. And a lot of people can say that if you don't know it's something, you probably would eat it without even thinking about it. Or maybe I'd make a wallet. I'll make a wallet out of its bladder, because supposedly people make wallets out of its bladder.
All right.
We will see you tomorrow. Here is our mic drop moment.
In track, everything comes full circle, though it may take time. Margaret Brennan reports on an extraordinary finish today at the White House.
It was a stand that shocked the world.
Nice figure speech.
American sprinters
Sadly,
Tommy
it shocked
Smith
the world. It shouldn't have shocked
Carlos
anybody.
Raising their black-gloved fists in protest at the 1968 Olympics in Mexico City.
How far
Smith
we've come.
said the moment was overwhelming.
When you were raising your fist, what was going through your mind?
Get me off of the stand. The national anthem is exactly 1 minute and 30 seconds long, but it seemed like an hour.
That protest against racial inequality
I'm going to do it. I'm going to raise my fist. Okay, when are they going to arrest me?
For decades.
Yes, we were hated. We were vilified. But I do think because we were hated and vilified, that showed you that there was something that needed changing.
Welcome kicked out of the Olympics.
To the White House.
Today, nearly 50 years later, the Olympic medalists were welcomed back into the fold by President Obama.
We're honored to have here the legendary Tommy Smith and John Carlos here today.
And sadly, it took a black president to do it, That's the sad part, really.
In the 1968 games was controversial.
They could have done it in 1970, 1980. They did it.
The whole thing is the sad part.
Yeah, the whole thing's sad, but it's even more sad that it took until
for those that followed.
Way later. They could have 1990 they could have changed it. Clinton was the president in the 90s. Why didn't he do it? No, it had to be the black president.
There was no black people in media.
Yeah, terrible.
There was no black
the
people in
national
media in
anthem to
1968.
protest police violence against African Americans. Smith supports activist athletes and said their peaceful actions take courage.
When you do something and you really believe in it,
be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons, and follow our other channels, Toxic Alley, History of Gravy, and Scratchy Old Records.